All right, so today we're talking about how to be a fluid guitar player. So I'm going to give you 3 tips here that are really going to help you be a fluid guitar player all the time whenever you play. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to get in the flow and play fluidly every time you play. So here's the first one. It's basically chromatic exercises or spider exercises, and I'm going to show you some interesting things about this. But first of all, it's a chromatic exercise where you're playing one finger per fret. Here's one of the ones that I do. It's like a little chromatic circle. It's called a spider exercise, and it goes like this. So that's the exercise. I'll show you how to get fluid with that. But first of all, you can just go across the fretboard like this. The biggest mistake I've seen so many guitar players make is that they're just trying too hard. And what happens when you try too hard, you kind of tense up and everything gets kind of stiff. What you want to do is focus on getting in the right mindset and relaxing your hands and just gaining control of the guitar. And this is a great way to do that. As you're playing it, try and get each note to ring out for as long as possible until your finger has to move. And what this is doing is it's creating finger independence. Only move your fingers when you have to. Now, what that does, that cultivates something in your fingers. One, it slows you down and it makes you really think about what you're playing, but it also cultivates what's called economy of motion, which is where you're trying to find the most economical way to move your fingers. Let those notes ring out and listen to each note as you play it. It's a little bit of a finger twister, but it's actually really fun to do. Kind of sounds cool too. Okay, so that's step 1, is do that a couple times, just relax and go through that. Here's the next one. If you want to really be whipping around the fretboard and playing fast and moving around the fretboard, the best way to do it by far is arpeggios. And arpeggios are also a great way to warm up. And the cool thing is with arpeggios is they're simple. It's just 3 notes, right? If I play a G major arpeggio, it's literally just this. It's just a G, a B, and a D, 1, 3, and 5. And then you can just repeat that. So you can go through 3 octaves of an arpeggio, just like this. So that's a great way of playing an arpeggio, because it's just a repetition 3 times. Now, I quite like to do it like this. You're also trying to stretch out your hands. So if you use just 3 fingers to do it, that's a good way of stretching out your hands there. And also you can focus on your technique there, getting your hand at the right angle. And one of the things you want to do is, rather than just having your hand at one angle like this, like a classical kind of position, if you're playing rock guitar and moving around all over the place, your hand position is a ergonomic and dynamic thing where it actually changes as you move up and down the guitar. So your thumb and your wrist are actually moving with the position of the notes. So the main thing there is you just want it to be comfortable. You don't want to injure yourself. So just move your hand fluidly with the notes. And as you can see, my hand's kind of moving like this. Okay, so there's your major arpeggio, and a minor arpeggio is the same thing, but it's a 1, 3, 5 with a minor third. And it's like this, 1, 3, 5. And again, you can just repeat that. So now, a cool exercise is where you just basically go through the major scale. And the major scale essentially is, the arpeggios would be major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then diminished. So let me show you that. This is a good little exercise to do. So G major, A minor, B minor, same thing, C major, back to the major shape, D major, and then E minor, we're going to come down here, and then F sharp diminished. So there's all your arpeggios. And a good little thing to do, again, you're working on your mindset. So what I do is I like to imagine I'm creating a beautiful tone as I'm playing these. I'm trying to make each note nice and round, almost like I'm with a pick, like I'm kind of like bowing with a bow. And trying to get a nice fluid motion through the whole thing. Not worrying about speed, but just kind of trying to get a nice fluid sound where it's like one sweeping arpeggio. And then you can also play them down here in this position using this form here. And you can go through it and sequence them as well, kind of create like different patterns within them. And so on. So by the time you've gone through that little pattern, you're starting to kind of warm up. And again, as you're doing this, focus on relaxing your hands, focus on your tone, and thinking of your hands as being light as a feather and not pressing down real hard, but just being really relaxed with your hands. All right, here's the third thing. Basically, the idea here is playing rhythm and lead at the same time. So music exists within rhythm. Like rhythm is the timeline, right? Or rhythm is the world where music lives. And with rhythm, you've got a basic pulse. And tied to that pulse is a tempo, whether it's like slow, fast, slow, medium, fast. And then within that tempo, you have a groove. Rhythm's all about the groove, right? Every song has its own individual groove, and you have to learn the groove for that song. A groove is like how you dance around the tempo of the song. So for example, let's take something really easy, like a basic boogie. Stevie Ray Vaughan is someone that's brilliant at doing this. Every time, it's so inspiring to hear him play. Check out this little thing. This is so cool.
Yoo-hoo! You are great-o!
Every time you hear that, it's just like there's so much joy and like life in his playing, and it's interwoven around that rhythm, So if you can get that little rhythm down, like a basic kind of boogie, and then just play around with that basic rhythm and then start to insert little lead licks around it,